Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayelet and I'm the mom of two, a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old who's sleeping right here. We practice Montessori at home in our New York City apartment. So today I am actually giving you a tour of this apartment, which is something I've never fully done before. I've shown bits and pieces, but this is going to be a full tour, pretty much a full tour. We live in a 750 square foot apartment. It is a 2-bedroom and a half bedroom, sort of. So it's a 2-bedroom. We sectioned off part of the living space as an office, which I will show sort of what we did there. So it has a third room. The third room's small, and that's my husband's office. He works from home. So that is a bit about our space, I guess. 1 bathroom, 2.5 bedrooms. I'm going to show you all around that. And I hope this is helpful. You know, I know that so much of what is shown on Montessori Instagram, Montessori YouTube, and Montessori social media in general is really large spaces. And that's something I know when I first came on, I was seeing all of these huge spaces, and our space isn't like that. You know, it isn't the smallest space by any means. And I do feel like we were able to really fit in most of the things we wanted into the space. But I'm not gonna lie, like there are definitely struggles, a lot of struggles for us in this smaller space. And it's something that I've been struggling with as my toddler's become older, is sort of figuring out how to fit all of, you know, the prepared spaces for him, because really my goal is to make prepared spaces where he has access. And as we get sort of more toys, like finding storage has been difficult. So I've figured out certain things really well though, so I'm going to share that, talk about what's working, and I'll talk a bit about what's also not working. So I'm going to share all about what Montessori can look like in a small space, and I hope that's helpful because again, I know that is not what is mostly represented on social media. So where I am right now is my children's bedroom. Well, my son's bedroom. My daughter doesn't really sleep in here, but it does have her stuff in here. So this is my children's bedroom. It is the larger bedroom of the two by a lot. I gave my children the biggest bedroom in the apartment because I knew that they were gonna have toys and if they would be sharing, and I wanted space for all that. So their bedroom is significantly bigger than our bedroom is. And that was intentional because I knew that we wouldn't be able to have a playroom. We have also somewhat turned our living room into a playroom. So you'll see that. So this is where you would have seen me filming previously. If you've watched other videos, this is where I always film, with this shelf in the background or this mobile. But this is the biggest bedroom of the apartment. So I'm not gonna start here though, I'm gonna start at the front door. So come follow me over there. All right, here we go. Okay, so welcome into our apartment. I'm gonna give a brief overview of what you're seeing here. So we came in the front door. Here is where we store our stroller. Over here, we have his little mini kitchen and our kitchen in the back, main kitchen, his mini kitchen. This is his little entryway spot. And over here is our living room. Over there is our dining room. Back there is my husband's office behind the dining room. My bedroom out there, straight ahead. Over here, the children's bedroom. Back over here, this is the bathroom where we hang our stuff, shoes, etc. Okay, so I am going to start with the entryway because that's the first spot. As I mentioned, we keep the stroller here. We go in and out all the time, and it also is where we do grocery shopping in the basket and all of that. So we just keep it open in the main area. It takes up a bit of space, but it's not terrible. Right now it's pretty full in the bottom, so we keep that there. Over here we have a weatherboard, and this is where he keeps his jacket and this little chair for him, a mirror, and shoes. So all of the rest of his shoes are all in this bin down here, that gray one under the kitchen. Those are his rain boots. So this is actually, so our door is magnetic, or metal, so this is magnet stick, so that's magnetic. This is also magnetic. These hooks are magnetic. So this is where he stores his jacket, and he can put this jacket up independently, which is great. right now he also has another jacket, which he's out with grandma right now, and he's wearing that one. So a daily routine chart I made. Over here, as I mentioned, our shoes, and above our coats. So some small space considerations here. This that he hangs his coat on is magnetic. The door is metal, so that's magnetic, and the shoes are under the kitchen. So these are just little considerations that have made this more limited space work, since we don't really have space for a full-on entryway. Here's the mirror above there, a little chair, which fits pretty perfectly, honestly, in this little corner. And you don't need a ton in an entryway. A mirror is great, a place to hang the coat, and some shoes, and a spot for that. So that's basically all there is here, and that has been perfect for us. So then over here we have his mini kitchen. So this is a remodeled IKEA play kitchen. We have real water in it, a little canister of water. The sink does not drain, we just take it out each time to empty it. That was a preference because we store stuff under here. Quite just like a bunch of stuff stored here. Here he has silverware, he has a bowl that goes there, but it's in a dishwasher right now. Glasses are there, and plates are there. So he's able to access this on his own. He comes and he gets plates and silverware before we eat. He also empties from the dishwasher, puts them in here. He sorts all of his silverware into this little silverware tray. So this is just all stuff for him really to access at his level. So again, here, he often washes vegetables here. He has a little vegetable scrubber, the water canister, right now that's a spray bottle for cleaning, and his water cup. This is a cutting board. So I have a video all about the functional kitchen, which I will link to, that has a lot more about the kitchen. We've probably made some changes since then in terms of like what's stored there, but it's still pretty accurate. He has Play-Doh up here, stuff on top he doesn't have access to. Over here's a little chair and a mirror for him when he's getting ready. And so he'll sit there to put on shoes. He has his coat here for doing his coat flip. Okay, so now going into the main kitchen. I'm currently cooking right now, so there is a pot on the stove. So not a ton to see in here, I guess, other than, so here's his tower. This brings him up to counter height, and we cook together all the time. Tons of cooking videos, so check those out. But this brings him up to counter height, and he uses that all day, every single day, so many times. This is by far our most used item, is this tower, because it gets him up to counter height. He loves to help cook. And yeah, I mean, we got it when he was 10 months old. He didn't really use it at first. Around a year, he started using it. And more after a year, and now it's truly like the most used item. We use it all day, every day. So even though, you can see this is the entirety of our kitchen, even though it does take up a pretty significant amount of space, especially walking through, it can definitely be in a way. I have never once regretted buying it. We considered getting a foldable one because of space constraints. I decided to get this one because it has a smaller footprint, and I'm really, really glad I did, because I know that I realistically am not someone who folds stuff like that all the time. And in particular, since he does use it so often, I mean, like, really, it's we hardly go a couple hours without using it. So because he's using it so often, it really would not work for us to be folding it all the time. Then we'd still have to find where to store it. So I just chose this one because it has a smaller footprint, and I was really happy with that. I definitely think it's a fantastic purchase if you're able to make it. Highly recommend a learning tower. And again, I never regret the space that it takes up. Let's see what else. Right here behind the tower, this has some of his stuff that doesn't use, that I don't give him like just straight access to. There's a lot in the tower that he has access to all the time, but this has some of this stuff he just doesn't have all the time. There's a grape slicer. His knives are usually in here. This is an egg slicer. It's a bit random right now, to be honest. It's not super organized. Like, I also have pump cards. So I'm not super organized right now, but that is another spot with some of this stuff. again, yeah, the tower gets him to the sink over here, and so he can wash hands, do things like that. So that's pretty much, I think, the kitchen and our considerations in a kitchen. One thing I want to note, so the thing about the mini kitchen is, yes, it takes up space, but for us, we don't have a ton of cabinet space. Though we have like pretty great counter space, our cabinet space is not super lavish, and we cook a lot and have quite a few appliances because we cook a lot. So a lot of people recommend you just using a shelf or a cabinet in your kitchen for children to have access to. And that like honestly would not work for us. I cannot imagine losing any of that space, but we did have this little space next to the kitchen in our entryway, and that has just worked perfectly. So that takes care of him having access to all that stuff. I also do just love the functional kitchen in general, and that it gives him water access, and he can work there and all of those things. But it has been really great for him to have access since we just don't have extra cabinet space to give him. Over here on the other side of the functional kitchen, he has a little cleaning station. So he has this mop, he has a little broom, another little broom. Up here we actually store our aprons. He doesn't really have access to that. I have to get those. But a little cleaning station. He also has a little vacuum, but that's kept in the back in the office. So on the other side of the kitchen is the bathroom, and I'll show you in there. We have one bathroom. There's not a ton really to say about it. That's swaddle we do swaddle baths. She loves those, so it's drying. His bib's drying there. He has toys over in a corner there. A washing cup for taking baths. Over here, this is his little potty, and he has laundry. His laundry back there, that's kids' laundry. Some books, which he likes to read in here. Not as much anymore now that he's sort of more independent in the bathroom. We're generally not reading those books as much, but those were really helpful when he was first starting with toilet learning several months ago and getting more comfortable. As I said, now he's a lot more independent with that. But little potty there, little potty, books, hamper. Over on this side, oh, there used to be a little shelf above the toilet, but that fell down and it just was, so it needs to go back up. But right now it's down. There was a mirror there. So now the mirror is here, hello. And so he can see in that when he's washing his hands, which works decently, but it used to be over by his toilet. And we have this stool folds, nothing fancy, but it folds and it can fit between the vanity and the toilet. It can slide in there. So that's nothing fancy, but it works. Realistically, we very, very rarely close it because he's using it obviously all the time. But if there was ever a time we needed to close it, we could close it. I think that's about it. We cloth diaper past a newborn stage. So right now we're not cloth diapering because my daughter's still young for me to do that, and my son is out of diapers. So, okay, now heading over here, this is our living room. So our living room has realistically become a bit of a playroom. I used to think that I was like not going to have toys in the living room, which is really, really funny. Because that is most of our living room. So stepping back this way, you can see the living room. So over here, that's his little bike. That's her play gym. And she has these mirror balls. She loves those things so much. So her play gym's over here. Behind it is a rocker that my parents made. And so we have a little reading corner. We have all our books, and his books are the bottom 3 shelves here. So he has a little reading corner. He loves that. We have the Nugget couch. So when my son started crawling, I was really wanting the Nugget, but we did not have space for both it and the couch. And we decided to get rid of our couch and get a Nugget. So we have 2 Nuggets. We're only using 3 pieces of them though. So there are 4 pieces total from the 2. So we're using 1.5 Nuggets, but that's what this is. We replaced our couch, got rid of that, and we just have this. So we don't have a ton of seating in here. This climber also turns into a rocker if you flip it over. So you can sit on that. But honestly, our seating in our living room is pretty limited, which definitely isn't ideal. We used to have the other piece sort of folded over as another spot, but it's just to sit, the other piece of the nugget, but it just became so crowded that we ditched that. So now we have that. So as I mentioned, his books are over there. Over here also, this third shelf has some more of his books, and over here has some toys. So he has 2 shelves of toys, he has unit blocks on the bottom shelf, and then his cars on the second shelf. And those other things, the dump truck, the rocket, the tree, I rotate. But I don't really rotate the blocks or the cars, and the trains are new, but probably also will not rotate. So over here, he has a little table. He does different things here. He does activities here, a lot of art, as you can see. So right now we have art set up here. He has a sketch pad. Those are paint sticks in the little purse, and that little block with crayons. So that's what's going on there, is that's a little art table for him, but also we eat there for like baby Chino time when we do like our special little time together for that. I'll sit there with him. We don't eat meals there though. And he does do activities there as well. So over here, this is our dining area. We have trip traps, my sons, my daughters. We purchased the first one for my son new, soon after, a bit after he was born. We were really wanting it, and so we purchased it. Hers we were able to find used on Facebook Marketplace. I was in more of a hurry with him, so because of that, we ended up buying new. But Marketplace is a great place to look for them a bit more affordably. We got a pretty good deal on this one, and we got it before I was even pregnant with her. We've sort of, as soon as we kind of bought his and we knew we wanted more kids, I just started looking on Marketplace all the time until we found one, because it can take a while to find them. They're great, they're good deals on Marketplace. It's just, it does sometimes take a bit more time. But we love this because he can climb up himself, which he does all the time. And so that's something that we really like about having the trip traps, is he can climb up and it pulls right up to the table, which was really important to me. I didn't want to have a tray. I like having them at the table. He has a little placemat, so he sets a table using the guides on the placemat. Over there is my husband's office. I'm not going to show much of it. It's pretty small. You can kind of see that even from here. I will show you a little bit of our storage in there. It's a total mess. So we have some storage going on in here. Yeah, as I said, it's a mess. There's different things. It used to all be in his closet and then it stopped fitting. So some art supplies there as well, some toys, our tiny earth box, some different bins like that. And it definitely needs to be reorganized. Okay, so heading back this way, I'm going to bring you over to the kids' room. So this is the kids' room. It's both of their rooms. My daughter has never slept in here, but she does have toys in here, which I will share. So here, as we enter, he has some books here. Those are library books we put into this specific bookshelf. And then he has his Tony box, maracas, drums. There's a little bit of a music corner. This is his floor bed. He doesn't sleep with a pillow, but we have that for helping him to sleep and stuff like that. We have it there. Over there, and next to it, he has a little doll bed that sort of looks like his sister's bed, and then a ball run, the shelves behind, which I'll come and show. You can see in the middle, we have the pickler. He's been loving the pickler again lately, and he's been wanting it with a ramp, which is a bit unfortunate because right now the ramp's at basically the highest setting, but it basically takes up the whole room. So when we gave the kids this room, I was like, this room is so giant, it'll fit so much. And yet we have absolutely filled it because this pickler really takes up all the free space. So that's that, but it gets used all the time. Highly recommend the pickler. And it does fold, it's just, he's been wanting it out a lot lately. So it is currently out because he asks for it basically every time we fold it, he wants it back out. So it's a great use of space in that way. Okay, so this is my daughter's floor bed. It's a crib size floor bed. She has never slept in it. So I purchased it while I was pregnant with her with my son even in the newborn stage. So he had a crib, and we disassembled the crib and switched him to a floor bed at 5 months old. I have a video all about our sleep journey, I'll link. But at 5 months, we switched him to a floor bed. But from the beginning, he'd been using the crib for naps. So I figured, it'd be good to have this floor bed set up because I didn't plan to use a crib this time. And what I didn't realize is we were just going to contact nap the whole time. So I regretted with my son sort of pushing him to be in a crib more and really trying to get him in a crib instead of just contact napping at the beginning, and really throughout. That just caused a lot of stress that was really unnecessary. So my daughter has never slept in this. I just wear her in the baby carrier or in the wrap, but it's here for when she does. I keep my babies in my room for at least a year. My son, it was a bit over a year. There's no way I would move her before a year. So it was designed, my idea was it would be used for naps. It's low to the ground, so that we have a mat here, it's safe, but that's never actually happened. The dresser here, this is his little dresser. So this is his accessible wardrobe. Let me try to get past the pickwear over here. This is his accessible wardrobe. I used to have only 2 or 3 different options for shirts up there. Now I have all of his shirts there. So now her clothes are in the dresser. I have the bottom one is what she's currently wearing. The middle drawer is her next size up, and the top drawer is sleep stuff. So it has, extra sheets, bird cloths too, I guess, sleep sacks, stuff like that. Okay, so that's what's going on in here. But yeah, so now all of his stuff all of his clothes are here. So those are all his shirts. The pants are down in that basket below there. We have a little bit of overflowing pajamas there, a bit of a mess. Undies and socks. Over on the side here, this is an art smock. These are some of his play silks. We hang them there. He has a little chair here and a mirror behind it. So that's all, again, used for dressing. His helmet's on there right now, so it's not being used currently, but he uses that for dressing and stuff like that. This is his suitcase. He just got that for his 2nd birthday. And right now it's here as we prepare for a trip because we are going to be traveling soon. So that's why that's there. And he loves it. He's very excited to have a suitcase. This is a wall measurer that I have started to put up and have not finished. So that's real life. I have her mobiles that are not currently in use hanging on the door. So I like them hanging on the wall, but we have wallpaper and I didn't want to mess up the wallpaper. So I put it on the door, which are just painted. So these are all of the Montessori mobiles, because the one that's currently on her hanger is a mobile from Love Every. So these are all the Montessori mobiles. Most recently, I had this octahedron mobile up. I took it down to put up the Love Every one again, but that's what she's currently been playing with. She's played with this Minari one, that one, and I've not yet introduced the Gobi or the dancers. Okay, so behind here is storage, and I find showing storage embarrassing because it's not organized. It's not great, and it was. And here's what I wanted to say is, it was organized. It's been organized so many times. I have redone the organization of these closets almost monthly. It's so common, but it's just, it never lasts because anything throws it off. Anyway, so this is the closet. This is a desk easel that becomes makes the pickler into an easel. Balance board. These are some too big clothes that need to be put up and away. That's the earth from his Earth Goes Around the Sun. It's a play mat we love. And bins. And again, these are clothes that are just too big that I haven't been able to deal with yet for her, that are too big and don't fit yet. She was born pretty small, so I'd had all these clothes that are ready for her, and then they weren't ready, but I thought would be sort of in the next couple months, and they weren't. So some toys there. These are just also some gifts that we got for his 2nd birthday from other people that I haven't found found a spot for. So I'll just say, in all of my embarrassment about the organization of a closet, it also was just his birthday. So we got new gifts from people that I've not yet found a place for. Up here are sort of hanging clothes, you know, fancier stuff. Dresses. Also, for some reason, bathing suits hanging. Anyway, a few big books up there. Edges to our playmat. It's a mess. So, bye. Okay, so back over here. As I mentioned, this is his floor bed. There's the pickler. Let's go over here. Over here, this is our infant movement area. So this is my daughter's space. This has a little mirror for her. Newborns generally love mirrors. That's the mobile that I referenced. We just have this little elephant mat underneath, and that partially blocks his shelf. So before someone mentioned it, yes, we could hang them from the ceiling. We did in the past. In fact, you can see up here the remnants of when we had hung one on the ceiling, because these sticky things never come down. I've tried. But yes, we could hang them on the ceiling, but I chose to get a mobile hanger because I just find it easier to change them. I was never changing them up when they were on the ceiling. I found it really arduous. This just works better for us. And this also becomes smaller to become a play gym, and it becomes a fort. That said, it definitely blocks him of his shelf, which isn't ideal. He's been really into shelf work right now, which is great because it means he's still playing with his shelf. In an ideal world, he'd have really great open access to that. That's something I'm going to have to figure out again. But he's been really into shelf work lately, so he'll go and he will get even the ones that are over there. Those are actually a couple of his favorite activities over there. This is his shelf. I have a few activities out at a time. Up here, we always have balls up here, and this is an activity. He doesn't play with the rainbow yet. I love the rainbow. It's beautiful. He's too young really to play with it, but he has a Grim Stacker that was quite nice. And so we have a shelf over here, and as I said, it does sort of get blocked. You can see his work mat over there, and he'll bring that out to work. Over here on the other side of the shelf, we have a little bookshelf. Honestly, because of how the shelf is, it's kind of hard to get to. There used to be a rocker here instead of the shelf. Everything was arranged differently before the second floor bed came in. So there used to be a rocker here, and that would sort of give access to that bookshelf. Now it's pretty blocked, so it kind of just stores books that are kind of out of rotation, though I don't really rotate books. So it stores some books that are too tall to fit in the other bookshelf area. And he will sort of access them, but definitely not as well as other books. But he loves to read so much that even there, he'll go and get them. So let's see, so that's basically this room. I'll do one more pan around. We store wipes and diapers under the dresser. Over there's that. Bed, doll bed. Those are our bedtime books there. So that's basically this room, and then I'll bring you to the last room of the house, which is my bedroom. Okay, so there's not a whole lot to see in my bedroom. As I mentioned, this room is significantly smaller than the children's bedroom, and I chose that because I knew I'd have multiple children and they have toys and all of that. So this is our bedroom. I'm not gonna show a ton. She has a little sidecar bassinet that's attached to our bed. We love that thing. That's been really great for her. Now that she started being willing to sleep in it, it has been awesome. So that's sidecar bassinet attached to our bed. I'll show you in. So sidecar, my dresser. I have an exercise bike here. Balloons from my son's second birthday. He just had his birthday. Over here is our bed. So as I mentioned, smaller room. This is a full size bed, and it really takes up the entire room. As you can see, as I came in, the sidecar, covers most of the door. So it's really this pretty small area here between them. So the bed really does take up pretty much the whole room. We do have a bike, I have room for that. But I'd love a bigger bed. that would be ideal, but we just don't have room for that right now. So this is where we do diaper changes. We don't have a changing table. I used to, in the newborn stage with my son, we put this on the dresser. Now there's stuff on the dresser. So, and also I used to go into his bedroom at night to nurse, and now I just nurse her in bed and then put her back in the sidecar. So we just change her here and on the bed, and I do diaper changes on the floor after they start becoming mobile, and the reason is it gives more autonomy and stuff like that. That's something I learned from Montessori philosophy, and it's something that I think is a really great idea, is to do those diaper changes on the floor if you're able. Not everyone is, because of course there can be some mobility issues in that. But I would just take this changing pad and just pop it on the floor when you're older. In the bathroom is another thing. I move it to the bathroom when they're older so that they can start having that early association between the bathroom and bodily functions and diapers and all of that. So for now though, it's on the foot of the bed. At night, I just pop it up under the foot of the bed, change, etc. And then what else is Montessori in here? Not a ton. This is a top and chino. My mom made that. So that's just a nice resting place for the baby. We love that. So not much else for Montessori in the bedroom. Here you can see from our bedroom looking out the other way. So I think that's just about everything for what Montessori looks like in our space. It's really been a pretty full apartment tour anyway, but particularly focusing on Montessori aspects of our space. But we've really tried to be intentional about making spaces for our son, about having a little table, about having accessibility in the kitchen, about accessibility in the bathroom, despite having a little bit smaller of a space. So I hope that was helpful, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and please subscribe for more of Montessori at Home. That's what I share here. Thank you so much.